Hello everyone, my name is Rajat Singh. On behalf of Amritsar Founders, I welcome you all. Topic for today's webinar is Tips to Design Your Ideal Home Office by Mr. Guneet Singh Khurana. Guneet Singh Khurana is an architect by profession and runs his firm Design Arc and also manages online sales and marketing in his family container manufacturing business. He is the founder of Archistudent.net, an online knowledge sharing platform for the growing community of architecture and designers. He did his bachelor's in architect from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. Guys, we will be taking question and answers in the last segment of the webinar. So I kindly request everybody to type your questions in the comment section or chat section. So we will start with you, Guneet.
Thanks a lot, Rajat, for the short introduction. Hi, my name is Guneet and I'm an architect. So you have got your desk, computer, books, chairs all ready, but there are a few practical finds that might just make you more productive. So let's discuss about the tips to design your ideal home office. In this presentation, we'll be taking up four major parts, which would be selecting a space for your home office based on your needs, planning your ideal workspace, equipping your workspace, and simple tips to design a positive aura of workspace. Let's start with something like selecting a space for home office based on your needs. So first of all, it's selecting a home workspace is a very thoughtful process. Productivity is very important, whether setting up a corner desk or a separate room for home office. Location, type, size of workspace depends upon type of business you are operating. So if you are operating, say, a professional business like an architecture firm or a law firm, so you might be requiring a place which is easily located from outside. Clients can come from outside. They don't have to hinder with the family engagements. So business and family balance is very important. See, in this segment, in the first image, what we are showing is this shows a separate room for the office. And in the next two images, we have rooms which are connected to the lobbies. So in the first room, we can say clients can come and have an easy access from the outside. But in the both cases, we don't have a client engagement. And accordingly, there'll be a hamper with the family and businesses. So in order to do that, we need to have separate spaces. So we'll be starting with first separate room for home office. A separate room is one of the most popular choice for almost any type of home-based businesses that has no or few client visitors. Create the full office experience or use as much as little space as you need. In addition, since this is a dedicated workspace, you can decorate as your choice and take care of all functional needs. So in this, you don't require the businesses which don't require any client engagements like freelancing or any other, maybe you are doing anything online. So you, in that case, you don't require any client engagements. So in that case, you can have a separate of a room space, bedroom, which is connected to your room from inside. Workspace in converted garage. See, in a garage can be a great space for a business, especially if it is attached to the home and has a separate entrance from outside. You need not to spend much more money as there is a garage with your home, and it can be created and it can be renovated anytime. Staff and clients can be easily managed in the type of this home space. Usually people consider it as a very low standard if someone starts his or her home office in a converted garage, but we must admit that it should not be the case. Few of the world's biggest companies we know have been started from these garages. You take Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, HP, Google, all these were started from your converted garages. So let's see if anybody knows this person. He has started his home office workspace from garage and developed a multi-million dollar company. So can I expect any answers from you? All right, I think we are getting few answers. Yeah, Raghav, it's absolutely right. He's Steve Jobs. He started his home. He started his working from his converted garage and converted his company into a multi-million dollar company. So next option is office and home basement. Basements provide good and increasingly popular option for home workspace. They can be very beneficial if you plan separate entry and exit from outside the main door. It can accommodate large number of clients, work staff, if designed properly and have sufficient areas. Headroom and your lighting conditions should be considered in case of a basement. Sometimes basement offices become very major concerns if you have a lot of moisture or dampness in these areas. So we have few options for the basement offices, and this is something which is going very in for these days. Spare wall corners of lobby or room. This is a great solution for bedroom, family room, or living room that needs a workspace within it. People usually prefer these kind of places, and it is more private working. Play with shape and sizes of the overhead shelves to increase the beautify this place. Next is the workspace under the stairs. As we know, stairs under the stairs, the space is almost dead. People don't use those stairs, those space, and they keep all the dead usable items over there. So we can convert this space, if the headroom permits, we can convert this space into a workspace. You just need a working table, stool, chair, lights, and shelves. Mind it, this space can be very productive, but you need to consider a fact that you require a lot of light under these stairs, because there'll be a shadow from the stairs upside. Next is the office and closet. This is a very interesting option, and we call it a CLOFFICE, as the name suggests. Best thing of this setup is, whenever you don't feel like working, you just shut the door and your office is gone. It's a very unique and very interesting kind of a option, and it can be this can be developed in any home anytime. There is an attic office space. See, when there are sloping roof inside in the houses, preferably the American houses, there are a lot of attic spaces developed. Those are off-shaped spaces, shaped oddly, and have slanting roofs. And so in that spaces, usually people prefer these storerooms. But if you plan it accordingly, if you can set the balance, you can also create a home office in that space. So you don't need a separate outside entry for the clients. See, in this space, the client engagement won't be possible if and only if your house is designed in such a way that there is a separate entry to this attic space from the outside. Then only the client engagement is possible. Otherwise, this option is very much possible, very much feasible for the people who are doing freelancing. Second, the con, if you talk about the con of this place, so walking up and down the flights of the stairs gets some cumbersome and tiring. Then comes the workspace along passage and entryways. If you have a passage which is a wide enough, say around 7 to 8 feet, and that space is vacant along the wall, and you don't utilize that much space, so you can easily manage that space by creating a workstation, and you can develop a workspace, home office workspace on that passage as well, with a width of 2 feet, or maybe 1 feet 9 inches, and overhead cabinets of 15 inches. So you can develop that into a very beautiful workspace. Then comes an outdoor home office in enclosed cabanas or tree houses. These are very beautiful option. This is possible in large houses where there is a lot of space outside the house, maybe a green space. So this can be a lot of creative structures can be designed close to the nature, as it is just next outside your house and very close to the nature. It is planned basically in the front yards or backyards of the house with side lanes, so that there is an easy access of clients and staff coming and going out. Just consider the building bylaws before constructing such structures, because in these structures you are creating or constructing the area more than your house area. All right. So in this case, bylaws should be considered considering the setbacks and other requirements. So next we come into foot of the bed. See, if there are large, you have a large bedroom, say around maybe a bedroom which has a size of around maybe 14 by 20. So, and your bed is placed uh, along the axis of 20 feet, or maybe in any case, if the bed is placed in the 16 feet as well. So in that case, you can place an ottoman and a small sitting in front of your bed that can develop into a workspace itself. Bed extensions these days, when we create when we make furniture, or maybe when we make beds these days, we usually create bed extensions or platforms after the mattresses. So if we have a bed extension of around 1 feet, so you can also use that space for sitting, and simultaneously place a, a table in front of your platform, and that will be a private working space for you. There are certain two more options which we can also use. Now, workspace issues to consider before planning. These are things which we need to consider before planning. Will you have clients visiting your home office? If yes, then what will be their movement passage? How will it be different from your housing residing space? Will there be a family balance between your working station and your client movement? Second, will you have employees working from your home? If so, where will be they parking their vehicles? Secondly, how will they move in and out from the home office? If you have a home office, maybe inside the house, so that won't possible, because family might they might say we don't uh, allow it. And if you have a place which is maybe a basement or maybe a separate outdoor structures, so in that case the employee movement is easy. Third is, will you manufacture or assemble products at home? See, in this case, if you consider manufacturing the products, first of all, you will have to ask your uh, local government authorities whether you are allowed to manufacture any product inside the house or maybe in the vicinity of the house. Secondly, if you get the permissions, so then comes the point, where will you manufacture the products? Do you have a separate room? Do you have a separate access? Will the raw material or the furnished goods move from your main entry door, or will they have a separate entry door? So these are the certain points which you need to consider. Then comes, do you need extra storage space? It depends upon the type of business you are doing. In, say, if you have a law firm, in a law firm, people usually they have to stack a lot of books, because there are certain cases which they come up every day and they need to study them. So in that case, you need a lot of storage space, you need a lot of filing storage space to accommodate your essentials. Then comes, do you have easy communication connectivity? These days, as we know, due to COVID-19, most of people are working from home, and this is what we are doing. We are basically discussing this whole presentation only because more or less people are working from home and they need a lot of home working space. So in that case, the prime importance becomes, you need a very good internet connections. So in it is very essential to have a communication connectivity for a home office. Now we come for a second segment which says planning your ideal workspace. Building a great home office starts with a design plan that improves comfort, reduces external noise, makes workspace enables you to take into account all your needs and avoiding costly mistakes. makes workspace ergonomics in priority, lowers energy costs, and inspires you and increase productivity. If you plan a home workspace in an efficient manner, you will feel that your working productivity increases to many folds. If you have a separate space apart from your living room, or maybe as we have discussed, if you have separate room in the house which can house your workspace, so in that case productivity increases to many folds. It lowers the energy which you spend uh, in balancing your family and business life, and thirdly inspires you a lot to increase your business. Planning your workspace enables you to take into account all your needs and avoiding costly mistakes. As we have selected the workspace by now, consider planning it effectively. Firstly, take the measurements of the room and get scale drawings from the concerned person. So first of all, you need to measure your room, or an area where we are planning to create your workspace. So if you have already planned. Secondly, check if any renovations need to be made in the selected area. It is important to consider this, because if you have selected a space which requires renovation, maybe there's some seepage in the walls, maybe there's dampness, moisture, smelly area. You need to change the fabric of your chairs or maybe sofas uh, placed along with your office chairs, whether you need to upgrade your cabinets. In that case, your renovation part becomes very important. Next step is to identify and prepare a budget of all the items you need to purchase for your home office. See, budget is a very crucial part. If you have a say a certain budget, and if you cross that budget, your expansion of the business hampers. So in that case, you should identify and prepare a very solid budget before creating a workspace. The extra time spent planning your workspace now will ultimately save you time and money down the road, as we have discussed. And it won't be necessary to interrupt business to redo your workspace or lose productivity because the space does not suit your business needs. Try to use maximum of recycled or sustainable products. See, sustainability is very important. You if We are talking about recycled products only because we need to low down the carbon emission, and secondly sustainability. You should you however possible, you should use recycled products like maybe bins, maybe recycled paper, or anything which is easily recycled. And the most important point to be considered is don't forget to hire an architect or an interior designer. Next, equipping your home office workspace. Now we have already selected our workspace. We have prepared a budget of our workspace. So now it is time to get your home office essentials in order. Equipping your home office workspace with essentials like equipments, furniture, supplies, technology, communication connectivity requires consideration of three major factors. First, business needs. The need of the equipment varies with the type of the business you have planned for your workspace. Each business requires the essentials like furniture, technology, etc. to operate your business smoothly. See, if you are, maybe if there is a lady who is running a boutique, right, her needs are totally different from an architect who is running his office studio. So he needs a separate furniture, he needs separate equipment, supplies, whereas a boutique setup requires a totally different setup. Budget, as we have already discussed, budget plays major role in setting an expansion of business. ways financially challenged entrepreneurs can reduce cost of home office essentials is through borrow, barter, lease, or buy secondhand. There's a lot of options. You can cut down your budget. You can borrow things from your friends, family, or neighborhoods. You can barter the things. You have certain things. You can give it to your friends, and if they have certain extra supplies, they can easily shift to you. You can lease it, or you can purchase second hand. You can easily get second hand furniture from market which is of good condition, and it will definitely cut down your budget to a lot of figures. Thirdly, personal comfort. You will be sitting, writing, or using computer at your desk for many hours at a stretch. So your office chair and workstation needs to be ergonomically designed and adjusted for your personal comfort. Why we say ergonomically? See, in this case, ergonomics plays a very important role. Your heights of the chair, your heights of the table, if you are having a standing setup, so your height of the standing table should be very much planned. We'll discuss about these points in coming slides. Next, chairs, armrest, headrest must be adjustable, and desk heights must be just right with good support to your wrist, spine, and neck. Next, see, we were discussing about the ergonomics, working desk and tables. Ergonomics takes parts here. It starts from here. Make sure you have enough space to work at your desk. See, if you have a space, say maybe a table of 2 feet, and you are running maybe a graphic designing concern, which where you require 2 or 3 screens in your desk space, and along with that you need a sketching setup. You require a lot of essentials on your table. So in that case, you need a lot of enough space to work. So in that case, maybe you require a workstation of maybe around 3.5 feet or 4 feet. Secondly, standard desk height, if you are sitting, it should be around 29 inches. See, if and it also depends upon the chair height as well. If your chair height is lower and your table height is 29 inches, it will also create a pain in your neck. So in that case, also your chair height should be very much of a standard. And if you have a standard standing setup, in that case, your standing table should have a height of around 41 inches. And second point which comes in this matter is your eye angle. In a sitting setup, you require a minimum eye angle of 20 degrees and a vertical, say, sitting angle of 90 degrees. What is a sitting angle? Your hands are placed in your keyboards or your mouse, and you have a straight neck seeing your screen. So the eye which makes the angle with your screen should be 20 degrees minimum, and your upright position should be of 90 degrees. Now in today's time, there's option for height adjustable desks as well. In this case, they can offer you two setups in a single desk, which is a sitting setup and a standing setup. So they can be manual or they can be automatic, hydraulically functioned as well. It saves you money and provides extra comfort in this case. Next point is your desk chair. So in this, you should always choose a desk chair which is ergonomically correct, as we have discussed. And secondly, it should have adjustable height and depth, lumbar support, a backrest, and enough cushioning. In the first setup, there's a girl who is working in a workspace and has a sitting setup. In that case, she's sitting in a adjustable chair with a very good support of the backrest. Whether she's sitting in a very 90-degree angle with the 20 degrees of the screen. And second is, in the second option, we are having a couch sitting chair. See, these chairs, it is not an adjustable chair, it is a static chair. But let me tell you, these chairs, if designed and fabricated properly, they can also provide you a lot of comfort. Filing cabinets and bookshelves. Filing cabinets, when we talk about filing cabinets, as in the first figure of the blue figure, in this case, these are called filing cabinets, and you can choose your storage type depending upon your need and business type. If you have a business which requires a lot of file storage, and you prefer not to keep your files outside, maybe in the stacks or maybe in the shelves, so in that case you require a separate filing cabinets. So they can have a locking system, or they can be just a drawer system. Side pocket shelves, drawer cabinets, stackable trays, and shelves can be another options for these storages. See, we have given a lot of storage options. We have given customized. We can opt for customized filing cabinets. We can opt for you can opt for a cabinet which has a drawers and again has a bigger storage space, pull-out space in the bottom. Then we can choose storages along the our working desk. We can go for sleeve pockets. We can go for stackable shelves. We can go for overhead shelves as well. So these are another options we can choose out for the storages. In first option, what we are discussing here is, if somebody is very keen of keeping books, reading books, and maybe he's a book reader, maybe he's a book he's a freelancer who does book reviewing. In that case, he requires a lot of book storage spaces. And if that space is connected to maybe a living lounge, so if you can design the space accordingly, you that can come out to be very beautiful place. All right. Second, we are showing is the stackable trays, stackable shelves, which can be easily adjusted in vertical manner. You can adjust the heights of these stacks. Thirdly, we can opt for open and covered storage spaces. See, in this kind of a storage cabinets, or we can say spaces, you can also you can utilize this space for the storage of your books, your files, and secondly, you can also utilize this to decorate your offices. Thirdly, you can opt for bag cabinets along with an open shelf cabinet. And if there is a small, maybe 12 inches or 9 inches space next to your window sills, so if that space can be utilized, so you can also create a shelf or a storage shelves in that space as well. So now comes the part, lighting. Lighting plays a very major role in your offices. Sufficient lighting, indirect lighting to illuminate your workspace is very important. In term of indirect light, what we mean is that it should not come from front. Your light fixture should be somewhere which doesn't comes in your viewing angle. Overhead lighting from ceiling lamp is usually the best in your offices. Add a mix of desk and floor lamps to the room to set a warm atmosphere. So in pictures as well, you can see, if you can add a mix of a floor lamp or a desk lamp, so it also creates a very good ambience. Natural light is quite pleasant, but diffuse it with shades or curtains to avoid glare. Next part, we all as we were discussing in the previous slides, technology and connectivity. So it includes laptop or desktop computer, high connectivity, speed connectivity, an office phone or printer, and any video conference equipment. If you talk about connectivity or technology, you require extra space to accommodate these things. So in that case, you require maybe a separate table. You require a bigger table to a bigger office table to adjust these things. You require a separate space to place your paper shredder, or maybe a safe, or any other extra equipment technologies which you use apart from what we are showing. In case if I'm talk if in the second slide, if we talk, there's a guy who is studying architecture. So if he requires a workspace, he need a say around more than 4 or 4.5 feet table, minimum 4.5 feet table, to accommodate his drawing table, his computer screen, along with the computer and mouse, and a separate storage or a stacking space for the another essentials which are required. Now we come to the last part of presentation, which is simple tips to design a positive aura of a workspace. In this part, we'll discuss a lot of tips which we can utilize, which we can use to create a good, which we can use to beautify our workspace. Firstly, keep it bright and clear. Colors plays a very major role in this segment. Color psychology is a real concept that works great to make mindset of employees. Whites are the most common, which has the traits of positive, pure, clean, true, innocent, silent, lightweight, clarity, airy, and bright. And secondly, it virtually increases the size of your room. We were talking about Steve Jobs earlier, so we will also quote the example again. Steve Jobs painted his office walls all white to increase the clarity and minimize distraction by colors, and to generate new interesting ideas for his business. His ideology was that he needs a clean space for working. Second, blue is also considered preferable color at workspace due to traits like constant, positive, impressive, energetic, high-spirited, and calm. If blue color is used in the room, it can increase your creativity, and also the blue color is mostly used in rooms which require brainstorming. If you have a business type which is more of a brainstorming, so you can utilize blue color in your rooms. Then comes green for inspiring innovation. We all know green color indicates with the nature. It inspires you to innovate, inspires you to think new ideas. Similar to blue, green is a calming color that promotes harmony and balance. It also can enhance creative performance of if you are working alone. So it enhances the creativity and performance of the employees as well if they are working along with you. Red. So if we talk about red color is very powerful color. It helps it helps increase performance in employees who have detail oriented working. Why we talk about red? See, if you need energy in your working, if you need enthusiasm, if you need energetic atmosphere in your workspace, so you can opt for red color. You can, or if you don't require, if you don't like bright reds, you can go for calm reds, you can go for cherry red, or which are basically neutral in shades. Never go for colors like gray in your workspaces. These are usually dull shades. Why we usually most people they prefer gray shades in different room options, but in offices where you required energy, where you required uh, inspiration, where you require performance oriented working, so in that case you should not go for gray color. And secondly, if you have a separate office space, maybe we are talking about a basement office space where you can house different segments of your offices. Maybe you have a your private office, you have a staff office, you have a reception, and you have a conference room. Never go for yellow color in the conference room. uh, why we say about yellow color, it creates dullness in your working. Pale, when we talk about yellow, we talk about pale yellow. So pale yellow and yellow compensates. So in that case, it reduces your performance, it reduces your thinking mindset, it reduces your thought process. So in order to avoid that, never go for yellow. Next, add greenery to your workspace. Greenery, as we have already, green color, as we have already said, it inspires you to innovate. And secondly, if you bring nature inside your office, so it becomes, say, it increases your performance many folds. It enlightens your mood. Adding plants to your desk will make the space feel less stuffy. There are plenty of easy to care for plants that remove toxics from the air. So I'll just ask Rajat if he can share a video link. There's a YouTube video link we did a few months back. It is all about how and how you can utilize plants inside your home spaces. So you can easily go through that link. Rajat will share the link with you in YouTube and Zoom channel. Thirdly, plus they will add a great pop of color to your desk. It will add another color to the existing color options which you have on your desk. Next option is lamp for your bright ideas. If you need to be more creative, you can also you can always experiment with lamps and light bulbs. As we are saying, there's a small light bulb the left we have kept. So that light bulb, it emits the light, and also it is a very creative kind of a lighting fixture which you can use along with your workspace. Lights are very essential for workspace, and so is its design, as we have already discussed. So you need to be very creative with your lights, you need to be very creative with your lamps, you need to be very creative with your overhead lights. There are a lot of options available in the market. You can also develop your lighting fixtures by going through do it yourself video links on YouTube or any other platform. You'll find thousands of options which you can create from the materials which you already have inside your house, which are dump. And as we were discussing already, that you can utilize those materials and recycle those materials to create the lighting fixtures. Then comes use a desk organizer. You need to declutter your workspace, work desks, in order to be more efficient. You need to reduce clutter in your office, home office. Keep things like notes, phones, pens nearby for easy access. You should keep desk organizers in order to keep your small pads, pens, mobile phones, your maybe your please can I ask you to shut down your mic? Right. So you need to have a very decent desk organizer to keep your essentials on your desk. Then comes option to use corkboards for notes and sticky notes. A sticky note set that won't have you guessing who, what, when, where, why. When we say these points and we consider these points, we become more efficient in our working. If you have a corkboard or maybe a sticky note board in your office workspace, it gives you a lot of it enhances your workability. Grab some full push pins and hang up things like photos, notes, receipts, or documents to remind you. Your boards will serve as a visual reminder of things you need to do in your office. Second option is add light. How essential it is. So we need to add a lot of natural light in our home office. Natural light is a key to make a space look more open and fresh. If you use a mirror in a room in which is a small size with a small windows, it and it is placed in a manner, it can make the room look visually larger. Decor your workspace with wall arts of your interest. Office walls also need some attention. You should not keep your office walls or maybe workspace walls dead with like maybe white framed or maybe any colored frame. You should always go for wall arts. Design it with combination of paintings, inspiration quotes, uh, maybe any metal arts which are of your interest. See, in first figure, a lady is placing her painting, her sketches, and a quotation along with her walls workspace. And the second option, this guy has very beautifully enriched his workspace by placing a lot of unique things collecting all around from the globe. So there's a horns hanged on the wall. There are sketches, there are hats lying in front of the workspace. So you can be very creative with your workspaces. Sorry, I think we have. All right. Install backlights at workstation. You can play with colored mood lights or LED strip lights in your workspace. It will create a different ambience for you in your workspace. Try automating it and enjoy the environment it creates. See, if you like indirect lighting, if you like the LED strip lights, you can go in for maybe warm yellow, or maybe if you require inspiration, if you require energy, you can go in for red LED lights in your workspace when you are not doing any work which requires concentration and it requires energy. So you can just simply change the mood of the place by changing the color of the light. You can also go in for the lights which we hang while celebrations along your workspace. Then you can opt for motivate yourself through motivational quotes in your home office space. Keep it close so you can refer to it during the most stressful part of your day. See, if we go in for a motivational quote along the workspace, if you hang a motivational quote or a quote which gives you energy, which lightens up your mood, it'll help you go away with your stress. And secondly, it will also enhance the mood of the space. Sometimes all you need is a positive mantra to set you back on track and help you tackle your hardest tasks. Now it's over to you to tweak things as appropriate to suit your profession and personal taste. Consider your profession and consider your needs, type of business you want. Go in for whichever space or whichever office setup suits your business. You should always opt for that kind of a business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guneet. I would request you to, if you can, close the screen sharing part so that we can take the question answer round. Yeah. So it was a very, very interesting webinar and much needed at this time. So basically, what all tips, I guess you have covered almost everything, but still we have many questions. I mean, when you were giving your webinar, we had lots of questions from our members because we are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook and Zoom. So I guess I'll start with the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first question is from Mr. Manmeet Tuli. He wants to know, I have a storeroom in my house.
Okay.
It has no source of natural light. Kindly suggest what wall paint color can I use there?
See, usually storerooms are of a smaller size, and we have already discussed in the presentation white colors. If we go in for white hues, white color options, so it can visually enhance your space, visually increase the size of the space. It won't actually increase the size of the area of the room, but visually it can it can be suitable for your setup.
Right. Thank you. So we'll move to the next question. Mr. Rubal Tuli wants to know, I want to create a partition in my house lobby, and
Okay.
I want to create a partition in between the lobby and my working desk.
Okay.
Kindly suggest, I want a visual connect between the two spaces.
You want a visual connect in the two spaces. So I'll just share the screen again, and I'll show you an option which we were discussing. Uh, all right. So okay, I'll just quickly go down to the option which we were discussing. Mm. See, you can opt for glass walls, glass partitions, which we can which easily connects you with your working space and your living space. You can have a sliding glass partitions, which have a, maybe it has a wholly solely it has a glass, or maybe it has a wooden frame along with it. So you can go in for those options. You can cut down the visual area. We can you can reduce the visual impact by uh, using your blinds along the partition, or else you can also opt in for a freestanding partition wall, which has a separate entity on your living area side and a separate entity on your working space area side.
Right. So next question is from Mr. Anurag Vyala.
Okay.
From where I can source the furniture for home office?
See, there are a lot of options you can go in for. There are a lot of companies which manufacture furniture, home office furnitures. Uh, you can go in for maybe Godrej. You can go in for GK. You can go in from AFC Systems. These are few names I am opting. There are n number of furniture option uh, uh, available in the market. If you are considering Amritsar as a market, so there's a company called Fern Studio in Amritsar. You can also go in for that to create your furniture.
Great. So Mr. Sahib Preet Singh wants to know,
Yeah.
I am a painter and want to set up a studio at home. Tell me what should be the minimum area required?
You want to set up a studio, painting studio at your home, right?
I'm a painter and want to set up a studio at home. Tell me
Okay.
what should be the minimum area required?
Firstly, I need to understand what will be the requirements. Like, will there be any movement in your space, or you will be working privately in that space? First, if you can just, if I can get an answer to that.
I guess let's yeah, no, the answer, we are getting the answer.
Okay.
It is basically no client movement.
Okay. So in that case, you can start by an area which is as low as maybe 8 feet in width and 10 feet in depth, and you can go up till maybe whatever size you want. If you want a luxury working space, so you can go in for maybe 14 feet by 16 feet, 14 by 18 feet office, where you can create your you can paint your stuff, and along with that you can also host your exhibitions parallelly.
So we have next question from Mr. Amit Madan.
Okay.
He says in small cities, there are houses made in too small spaces. To make a home office, can you suggest some studio office kind of idea also for such places?
See, sir, as we have discussed earlier, if you have a double height home and you have if you have a 4 maybe 3.5 feet width space under the staircase, so that can be a very good option for you, because in any case that space is dead space for you. It will always be a shabby space, and you'll simply throwing your used newspapers or maybe extra things in that area. So you can go in for a closed cabinet setup under your staircase. Secondly, if you have a separate corners, maybe in a lobby, living space, or maybe in a room, and if you have a corner space of around, say, an L space corner, which has a size of 4 feet by 4 feet, it is if it is a vacant space, 4 by 4 vacant space, so you can also create a workstation in that area as well.
Thank you for answering that, Guneet.
Okay.
So next question is from Mrs. Rochika. She says, I have a full equipped office in Ranjit Avenue,
Okay.
but these days because of the lockdown, I'm working from home
Hmm.
and I want to make a temporary office. Kindly suggest what material can I use to create my temporary desk and storage, as I will not be using it for a long time.
Okay. See, in case of a temporary home office options, uh, if if your family can accommodate with you, see, why we say family, because we always say family come first. So uh, you need to discuss with them first, and if you have a dining table in your house, and you if you can avoid using that dining table for some time, maybe till the lockdown period, so you can always set up a separate workstation on your dining table itself, because it has a lot of room to house a lot of essentials you have for that. And apart from that, you can also opt in for side tables, or maybe a center table uh, for some time. Like there are no if we talk about lockdown time, so there are no uh, clients or maybe guests expected at home, so you can convert your drawing room as well into as a temporary office space. People there are a lot of people who have small homes, and they need some working space. Maybe a lady we were talking who needs a boutique, and she cannot she needs a boutique very urgent, and she cannot wait for time. So what people do is they convert their drawing rooms in their workspaces, and then take their sitting into their lounges or maybe living spaces. So you can always opt for the drawing room as a temporary workspace as well, as it is a separate space apart from your complete living house.
So we'll go to the next question, Guneet. Mr. Gagan wants to know, I have a home office and it has marble floor which needs to be changed.
Mm.
I'm thinking of to put laminated wooden flooring. Do you think it's a good option?
See, if you don't have there are a lot of quality of laminated wood floors available in market. Okay, so if you can go in for maybe AC4 option, which is in medium range, okay, and of a good quality, a good material, good company, which gives you a very decent warranties and guarantees for the materials, you can always go in for the laminated wooden options as a flooring option. Uh, it is just that you need to take consideration about uh, your workspace in a manner that the water doesn't stands for a much longer time, or it doesn't the room doesn't have moisture in it. Otherwise, it will hamper your flooring.
Right. Thank you so much, Guneet. So we'll move to the other question. That is from Mr. Tanu Das. He wants to know what type of color will be more effective, monochromatic or contrast?
See, if you need a calm space, and if you need a calm space and an inspirational space, uh, you should go in for monochromatic themes. Contrasting themes are usually suited for those who have energy oriented living. So we have already discussed that you should always opt in for the designs which suits your type of business you are planning. So if you plan your space accordingly and your colors, it will always suit your environment accordingly. So monochromatic is a better option than going for contrasting options. I'll uh, also ask Rajat if he can share a link to the video which has different concepts of the home office spaces which you can go in for, and you can get ample amount of ideas to set up your home offices.
Yeah, Guneet, I have already shared the two videos.
All right, thank you.
On all the platforms.
Thank you.
So we have another question from Mr. Das. He wants to know, do you have faith on Vastu? Does it consider in office space? So that's a little tricky one.
Yeah, actually it is a very tricky part. See, if architects usually have to compensate, or we can say have to neglect a lot of designs just because of Vastu.
So do you guys consult
See,
Vastu people?
I'll tell you. Having faith in Vastu is one thing, and having faith in yourself is another thing. Okay, so if you consider yourself as if you consider God, or if you consider yourself as a very powerful person, so Vastu will never hamper you anyways. वास्तु only comes in part when people say कि यार मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा वहम हो गया, superstitions, people fall in superstitions. In that case, people usually go in for vastu options. Sometimes people say that vastu has changed their life a lot. Maybe it can be good for somebody, it can be, maybe it hasn't changed anything for another kind of a people, set of people. So we cannot say that see, personally, if you talk about me, so as an architect, I simply believe in designs. We simply design the things considering the uh, things like solar orientation and open close void mass void relationships. Usually we don't go in for vastus, but if we have a stubborn client which only requires the designs which are vastu specific, so in that case we do go in for vastu options. We don't have any other options other to we cannot lose the clients. In that case, we go in for the vastu options, considering the fact that our designs don't get hampered.
Yeah, it's a very controversial topic basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can have a big debate on that.
You can have a different setup.
Views,
you can have a
yeah.
different setup in that. Yeah.
Everybody has a different view for that. So I think we should avoid this question. It's a good idea. Yeah. So we will move to the last question, Guneet. Mr. Amit Madan, he wants to know what you suggest for a portable or convertible office.
Portable or a convertible office?
Yeah.
This is a very interesting kind of a setup these days. Usually, why interesting setup? Because these days people, they change their mood very often. Okay, and if you have a setup which requires movement, casual movement from one place to the other, and secondly you require complete office setup, maybe a desk, a laptop, or your essentials along with your whenever you go, wherever you go. So you can opt for those things. There are companies who are manufacturing modular furnitures which are adjustable, which are openable, which you can use which for any kind of a space, and you can always open the nut bolts and you can dismantle it. You can assemble it anywhere, anytime. Yeah, as we have discussed, there are adjustable height desks, there are adjustable chairs. Chairs cannot be moved, I know, but there are certain chairs which can be folded. Those chairs can't be, say, ergonomically correct or maybe comfortable, but these can go in for the options if you have cushions along with it. So I think portable options are quite in these days.
Yeah, and I guess this is very useful in small spaces. Like I guess Mr. Amit Madan only asked the question कि यहाँ पे बहुत छोटे छोटे घर है और उसके अंदर कैसे कर सकते हैं. तो I guess portable offices and all the options which are you go with is a good option for small spaces.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So with that, we are done with the questions, Guneet.
Right.
So first of all, I would like to thank you on behalf of Amritsar Founders for taking out time for us. Although you are also a core member of Amritsar Founders, but still we would like to thank you क्योंकि आपने इस टाइम पे जो वेबिनार दिया ये नीड ऑफ द आवर था क्योंकि इस टाइम पे सब ही वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहे हैं, कोई भी नहीं जा पा रहा है एंड बेड्स के ऊपर काम करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so this was very much required and you have covered almost everything. I guess जो questions आपके webinar में कुछ बचा ही नहीं था जिसमें से कोई कुछ question पूछ सके. So everybody asked their personal questions, कैसे कर सकते हैं, कैसे नहीं कर सकते. So for this, thank you so much, Guneet. And in the end, I would like to tell a little about Amritsar Founders. So Amritsar Founder Association was founded with a view to promote high standards of business behavior based on ethical values of international work culture. Our mission is to empower young entrepreneurs, grow their ideas, generate employment, and, and organize market clutter for a holistic progress of standalone enterprises. So guys, our next webinar is on 19th of June, that is Friday, and the time will be 7 p.m., same as today. And the topic is very interesting. The topic is let's eat up the market with marketing. So I guess ये एक आज के टाइम पे इस तरह का टॉपिक है जो कि बहुत ज्यादा जैसे सभी लोग मार्केटिंग में जा रहे हैं, सभी लोग ऑनलाइन जा रहे हैं. So it's going to be a very interesting webinar, and the webinar is by Mr. Amit Madan. So Mr. Amit Madan is basically into marketing and he's a one well-known person in Amritsar. So I would request everybody to join us on 19th of June on Friday at 7 p.m. So with this, I would like to thank you, Guneet, for taking out time for making such a wonderful presentation. And with this, I will end up the webinar. Thank you.